Welcome back to Dry Hollow Homestead. It's Danielle. I'm actually outside the kitchen to start this video, but most of this is in the kitchen. I have been semi doing the challenge of every bit counts for August, where you put up something every day. I do a lot of like bulk putting things up, and then I take a break for 2 or 3 days. So there's lots of things in this video. Many of them repeat, so I only show you once. I have done so many green beans, canning, and also I'm watching my cow out here. She was due many times. I don't know. Today's another one of the due dates I have on my calendar, so who knows. But what was I saying? So like beans, I have been blanching and freezing repeatedly. Blackberries have been off of our vine and frozen repeatedly. So I tried not to repeat too much in this video, but hopefully I give you some ideas on things that you can put away for your winter, preserving your garden, and just whenever fruit is fresh. I need to go get my cow. She's starting to explore a little too much. But I hope I inspire you in some way. And I love watching these. Check out the hashtag, every bit counts, and you will find lots more inspiration. So we're going to start this with some blackberries from our thornless blackberry bush. We have gotten probably about 2 gallons worth of these blackberries this year. They are very tangy, but we will add them to smoothies or something like that throughout the year. So I just rinse them really well and lay them flat on a tray and then flash freeze them. And then I load them into a Ziploc bag, gallon bag in the freezer, and we will get them out when we are wanting blackberries. I was really done with squash this year. So this was the last of the squash from the garden. I went ahead and peeled it like I would a winter squash and then cubed it up, and I'm roasting it in the oven. I'm sprinkling some avocado oil on there, and then I'm going to roast it and puree it. I've never done this before, and I have no idea if it's going to be any good. Pureed it in the Vitamix after it was roasted for about 30 minutes at 375 until it's tender. And then I put it in a container for the freezer. I plan on doing some gaps things this winter. One of them being some of the gaps pancakes. So you use a winter squash for that. I have this in the freezer. I will probably try to use it during the beginning of gaps. That's the plan, at least. We're preserving some more of our purple potted pole beans, and I just pack them into my quart jars, put 1 teaspoon of salt, and then fill with hot water, and then I process those for 25 minutes in my pressure canner. And I also had another load of blackberries. So this is a necessary thing for me for my mental health sometimes. I just froze some balls of cookie dough, and they're actually already gone, and I don't think I ate them all myself, but I was hoping that they would last until after the baby so we could have a quick snack or dessert in the evenings, but not even close. And just showing you a beautiful sunset here in the valley. We have great views. One of our neighbor also planted corn and told us to pick her extras. So I blanched them for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then I cut off the corn for whole kernels. Okay, I had more of our purple potted pole beans that I just snapped the ends off, cleaned really well, and they don't really have strings, but sometimes this time I had kind of let them get bigger because I'm kind of tired of dealing with these beans. But so a few of them did have a couple strings, and then I blanched them for 3 minutes in boiling water, drained them and rinsed them really well with cool water, and let them dry a little bit, and then I freezer packed them. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more bags of beans ready for the freezer. Yay! Another project I got to this week was pickling some of our peppers. I have some jalapenos, and I have some ajvarskis, and what was the other pepper? I'm trying to think. Oh, peach pepper. yeah, sweet peach pepper, I believe it was, something like that. And I'm just going to pickle these. I didn't have enough to do like cowboy candy, but when I pickle peppers or anything that I'm just doing like a quick pickle, it is equal parts vinegar, water, and sugar. And then for 2 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, I will use 3 tablespoons of salt in that also. And then I just process those for 10 minutes in a water bath canner. And I do that, I'm telling you to put the water up to the product line. I do that for things that I just need to get quickly out. Like I don't have enough to do like a recipe I really wanted to do, but I don't want them to go bad. So sometimes I'll just pickle things like that. Now, the next thing I'm pickling is pickled corn on the cob. I will link a video on that, but I essentially just blanched my corn for 7 minutes, and then you cover it in a salt brine, 1/2 cup of salt per gallon. And you definitely want to keep your vegetables under your salt brine, and I definitely have a video on that, but I would love it if you tried this sometime. This is actually a week and a half later. We just pulled out one of the ears of corn, and it was not quite ready yet. So it wasn't quite pickled. It didn't really have a whole lot of flavor except salty corn. So I have some ears of corn left over from making pickled corn. Hopefully I have a video out on that by now. We got this at a thrift store. It doesn't work the best. I think the plastic ones work better than this wooden one, but I am going to go ahead and take the time to go process these up because I am wanting to be done. I don't want to waste any of this. So slide it down through. I will link some of these corn creamers is what this is called. So once this is cut, it has a spot where it cuts it once and then it slides it off. This is going to be creamed corn at this point, and I'm going to just freeze this. I'm not going to can this. I'm going to freeze it. So we are, I will link some of those devices down below, and I really just need to get some. I just don't think about it until I've already needed to use it in the season. Okay, so I just have a couple cups of this creamed corn. I'm going to go ahead and bag up for the freezer. I tend to like just freezer bags for something that is this dense. I don't feel like I need to use my vacuum sealer for something like this. But if you want to, you go right ahead. That is definitely an option. We aren't going to this time. And I'm just going to divide it up into my 3 quart bags. This was what was left. Okay, so I wasn't planning on doing another preservation project. I've already done this today. I've done the pickled corn. I put some creamed corn in the freezer, but my father-in-law stopped by and he brought us some peaches, and they were starting to look real sad. So they needed to be processed like now. So my husband and I went ahead and we cut all the skins off and diced them up. I'm going to rinse them really well, and I'm guessing I'm going to just go ahead and can them in a light syrup sauce. I'm going to look that up real quick, but I have to wash up these jars now to get started. So this is just what happens. I think that's why it's hard for me. Let me turn the camera around. I think that's why it's hard for me to be every bit's counts challenge, because I kind of do that. I go one day and we put 4, 5, 6 things in up for winter, and then the next day I don't do anything for 2 or 3 days. So now we've gotten 3 projects done already this morning, or today. It's 6 o'clock at night, but I need to do something with those peaches before they get wasted. Wash your hands, please, honey. So that's where we're at now. We have 8 jars, 8 quarts of sliced peaches. We're going to put this actually in a honey and sugar sweetened light sauce syrup for our canning today. So for this, I'm going to do about 10 cups of syrup. It's going to have 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of honey and 8 cups of water. That's going to make this syrup. So I'm working on that now. We're going to get that incorporated and hot, and then we are going to water bath can for 30 minutes. We need to fill to 1/2 inch headspace. Okay, we're going to get the air bubbles out. We have this at headspace. Going to wipe the rims of each and add our just hot soapy water washed canning lid jar. Finger tight, and they are ready for the canner. I never really noticed how loud my home is until I'm looking through my videos and trying to edit. We were watching a family movie in the background, and it was pretty loud. So I am not going to make you listen to that. But here are the canning jars. When you are hot water bathing, you can just fill your jar up to the product line. Fill your water up to the product line that's in your jars. And then you don't start your process time until they are boiling. So for these, I think it was 30 minutes is what our peaches needed to process at. So put a timer on for 30 minutes. Process for 30 minutes. When it comes to a boil, I already pulled out our first batch. I had 8 quarts, so I did 4 and 4. I think that's a successful day. 8 jars of peaches, 3 pints of pickled peppers, 3 gallons of pickled corn, and 2 quarts of freezer creamed corn. I appreciate every single one of you who stopped by my channel and check out what we are doing here on this homestead. Talk to me in the comments below. And come again sometime. So we actually celebrated 17 years from our first date. We went to the county fair, local to us, and watched the fireworks. This was our first date. So 17 years later, it looks just a little different when you add in all the children. But I am very thankful for this man, and God bless. I will see you again next time.